Tony D and Little Joan with a screenwriter's rant on Life and Beth, starring Amy Schumer. It's a TV show, and this is who's going to be co-hosting the Oscars. Everybody, smash like and subscribe. Thank you for smash liking and subscribing. Check out my books. Links are in the description. Comedy horror in South Jersey. It's the Pineys, books 1 through 7. Support the channel. Kindle Unlimited is free, right, Little Joan? Right, Little Joan? She's sleepy. And speaking of sleepy, Life and Beth, a TV series which, I don't know, it just seems like a woman's sitcom about turning 40 and finding new love. You pretty much write the rest, and it's Amy Schumer humor, right? So here's the joke. They're too old for the club, so they go to TJ Maxx. I mean, that's kind of amusing, I guess, but this is the kind of comedy Amy Schumer's been doing forever. Jokes about breaking up with her boyfriend because they've gotten, there's no romance. She has a sassy black friend who tells her, you'll get another boyfriend and someday you'll shave your bush again. Michael Rappaport suddenly shows up. I don't know why. She's bored with her life and she finds romance out in the country with Michael Cera, who works on a farm, and that's what she's going to do. So, I don't know why they turned this into a series. Feels more like it should have been a romantic comedy movie on Hulu. But she's hosting the Oscars, and that's what I can't get over. I mean, look, Amy Schumer's not totally unfamous, and there are episodes, I guess, about her life, flashbacks to her life. And, Michael Cera's pretty good, I guess, although it looks like he's sleepwalking through most of the trailer. He looks like he's totally not into being in this. And I mean, he really does. He sounds like he's delivering the lines like, yeah, come on over. Yeah, we're doing this. Yeah. So, and like Amy Schumer's bringing a little energy to it, but not much. The whole thing feels very tired. It felt like everybody got only 4 hours of sleep when they after delivering their lines. Like nobody's on point here except maybe the sassy black friend. And I can't think of anything more derivative than this. And yet they chose her to host the Oscars. I don't think anybody's going to watch this show. It's on Hulu. So, I mean, I guess if you have Hulu, you might watch it because you're already paying for it. But, I mean, maybe if this was on TV, like regular network TV, maybe because you got two fairly well-known stars here, that would be something if the networks actually spend any money on their TV shows anymore. And I'm sure it'll be a little more adult than normal since it's on Hulu. Obviously, the trailer was a little bit more adult, but not much. It doesn't feel like super adult. It's just Amy Schumer from the mind of Amy Schumer. Yeah, no kidding. No kidding. It's like 3/4 of her stand-up act coming out of her mouth in terms of dialogue. And look, there's nothing wrong with that, but normally they would put this stuff on a network TV. Stand-up comic would get her own show. She'd do a shtick in the sitcom because it would kind of work. I got no problem with that. What I have a problem with is her co-hosting the Oscars. Because she's not famous enough, she's not successful enough, and she's definitely not funny enough. Now, her sketch show on Comedy Central was pretty decent, I gotta say. There were some good sketches in that. And that one was female-centric and was funny. This one is female-centric, but it's for, like, wine moms. I didn't even realize Amy Schumer's audience was that old already. But, like, she is transitioning into the comedian for middle-aged ladies. I guess. But it's not very funny. It's not... There's nothing here to grip you like, oh, I gotta watch this, unless you happen to be an Amy Schumer fan, and I'm sure she's got a big enough fan base to at least sustain it a season or two. Michael Cera, this is not his fan base at all. Michael Cera, his fan base is more comedy oriented. You could maybe stretch that to the geek world because he was in Scott Pilgrim, although the movie didn't do well. So, um, he's been in a lot of funny movies. This is mildly amusing TV show. It seems like a huge step down for him, and kind of a step down for Amy Schumer compared to the Comedy Central show, but not compared to the stuff she's done more recently, like her romantic movies. I don't know why they keep jamming her in. Maybe this is her. I don't know. They keep jamming her into these romantic comedies and making her the lead. Like, she seems capable of being funny. Why not actually be funny and forget about the romance part? Because it's the romance part that Amy is super weak on. Super weak. She's okay as an actress, like passable in sort of the comedian being an actor kind of way. But she's not a great actress. She's not like seething with chemistry, even in this. And Michael Cera they have zero chemistry. They have zero chemistry in this. To me. And Cera is the only one kind of bringing that, whereas like Amy's just sort of smiling. It's not good. So to me, a stronger move would have been to do a series which these two are already together and they're doing their thing. They're a well-oiled comedy machine doing comedy things, as opposed to, oh, let's see if these two get together. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they get together. Unless the show gets renewed for another 2 or 3 seasons, in which case then they got to break up and get back together, because we got to keep the drama going somehow. You got to have a reason to watch this show. That's why I think it would have been better if, you just wrote a thing where they are already a couple and they get to be funny. Maybe they run a farm and they do funny things and new people come to the farm and they, or a situation in which they would encounter other people and they would be weirdos. Maybe, I don't know. There's all kinds of concepts, but this just seems so boring. It's so boring. A romantic comedy, okay. Michael Cera's the farm guy. That's different. I was selling wine and I'm bored of it. And I'm bored of my boyfriend. Oh, I found a new guy and he's got a new thing. Well, the thing is, any situation you're in, it's like being married. It's like being in a long relationship. Eventually you just kind of get bored with a lot of things. Eventually the excitement wears off, the novelty wears off, and then you got to go to the next level, whatever that is. Relationships either change or they die. You can't have like intense, happy romance all the time, ladies. Quick tip, it changes. It changes when you're married. It changes when you've been together a long time. But Hollywood is obsessed with just this aspect of the beginning, the great part, right? The part where you are madly in love and you're having sex and it's just amazing. The first, couple of months. And then it's kind of downhill from there. But it's not that it's awful. It's just different. So, to me, it's like the same old, same old. This is just more of like, oh, I met a great guy and we're having this whirlwind romance. Oh, there's little problems. Oh, we get over it. It's like, why not give us a more challenging fare by having these two an established couple struggling to keep it together or whatever, so they can do comedy instead of this game that we already know the ending of this. They get together. That's the ending. Okay? Life and Beth. They get together. Unless Michael Cera is sick of doing the show and he already looks sick of doing it and they find somebody else to replace him, in which case either the ratings go off a cliff unless they get somebody more handsome and more famous. Michael Cera's kind of up there. But this seems beneath him. Quite frankly, it seems beneath Amy Schumer, but she's kind of been wallowing in this area for a while now. I think Amy Schumer has to stop listening to her agent and other people. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of money in it. There's a lot of money in doing this romance stuff. And Amy Schumer is a name, but is she a name in romance? She was a name in comedy. She was kind of a name in movies. Kind of. Barely. Oh, now she's going to host the Oscars? Are you going to talk about your bush in the Oscars? Are you going to talk about your period in the Oscars? I don't think that's going to be a good look. So, you know, and again, Schumer seems to be capable of doing comedy other than My Vagina. At least she was on the Comedy Central show. Maybe expand your repertoire, Amy, and just do a straight up comedy movie. And she's done a couple of them. They haven't done great, but have any of her movies done great? Does she have a hit movie amongst them? Michael Cera does. He's got a lot of hit movies. Superbad, Juno. He was in This Is the End, but he wasn't a main guy, but still. You know, he's got a lot of memorable characters. He's a lead guy. And to put him in this just seems like, meh. Seems like he should be the lead. It should be a Life in Michael, if anything. But this is the way Hollywood is. It's all about the women. It's all about the ladies. Okay, watch this then. Watch this and not be surprised and be mildly amused at jokes about TJ Maxx. If that's what you want, if that's what makes you happy. But whatever. Yeah, I'm not going to be watching this. I don't have Hulu, and if I did, I'd only watch it to bash the first episode, I'm sure. So that's it for me, Tony D and Little Joan. Check us out on Bitchute, Odysee, and Rumble for our other base takes, including a news blast and a Hollywoke hot take. We'll see you tomorrow.